Hello? There we go. Can you hear me now? Because you should be able to. I don't know what happened with that one. Okay. Okay, good. I have no idea what happened there, but awesome. Oh my gosh. I I don't know what happened with that one. But we're just going to roll with it and just keep going on and pretend that didn't happen. All right? All right. That's exactly how I live my life. Just pretend nothing happened and everything will turn out okay. And and the stream is actually kind of on time, which is usually something that never happens, especially since I was trying to do last minute changes because of course I will, even though I don't know how to work half of this stuff. So let's just so I guess we'll just roll with it. You know, to be honest, Habit, I probably would have been like, crap, they still can't hear me. And then it would take me a full like maybe a minute or two to be like, wait, what? Hold on. This does not make sense. Also, anyone that's joining this chat and whatnot, there will be spoilers for the newest chapter because I just want to talk about it so bad. Oh, I loved it so much. I especially I loved like a few very specific things. But the chapter as a whole was fantastic. Like I swear, you just keep on. Every chapter is just like a lot is like you think you hit the top with like how good a story can get, and then you just keep going past it. You just keep going. Yes, Idol definitely pulled off a definite Batman gambit. Don't hate the player, hate the game. It's my game. I every time you upload a new chapter, it makes me want to record more and put it out faster so I can catch up because I want to do it the same week it comes out, which is just fantastic and amazing. And I'll catch up to you eventually. About what am I about like 2/5 of the way there? So woo. Also, I loved the few callbacks I didn't see anyone else talk about, but I love the callback about peeled grapes uh, and how when Idol was king, uh, he had him peel grapes, and he's like, it's just messy, and I don't know why people think peeled grapes are such a good thing. And then Luna in this chapter is like, and peel and like how we don't have to peel grapes anymore. I mean, there's some varieties that do, but all in all, I guess it's just habit. I'm just like, yes, a callback because as soon as you said that, I'm like, yeah, why do people peel grapes? And I'm like, that's totally plausible that they had thicker skin way back when. But oh man, it's just so good. All the callbacks, all the references to other side stories. It just works so well. It works so well. And since I'm rambling over here, I might as well just discuss a few of my theories about what I think the future will hold. Such as, how could I not like it? This is like my favorite story on FimFiction. I believe it goes I believe it goes this one, then uh, then Cryo 7, which is another fantastic one. that I keep on talking about. And then I think it has to go Respite, then Out of Love. They're just so good. I love Changeling stories, but no one does a Changeling story right, and you've done it. You did it perfectly. No, V, why do you have to take a call now? No. No. Hopefully, get a few other people in the chat as well, because I know. Oh, was it Boogie? Yeah, Boogie was wanting to pop in as well. And hopefully, I fixed my internet. I replaced my router. I replaced my router and my modem because they were at the ends of their lines already. So, fingers crossed. Just cross all the fingers, because we're just gonna really hope that that was the issue and not like my Ethernet cable or something, because I probably should have replaced that as well. I just didn't. Why? Beats me. Oh no! I saw Boogie typing earlier. He was so excited about about the stream. Okay. Ooh, theories. Lots of theories, and they got progressively better as I saw everyone else theorizing. Such as one that I participated in a while ago was a while ago, yesterday, was with a few theories about Chrysalis, why Chrysalis exiles changelings instead of executing them. And my stance on that is exiled changelings aren't necessarily like bad. They could actually be like basically maybe a proving ground, if not a proving ground, just to basically kind of like the special forces area of like infiltrators, because they have no one else to fall back on, so they are self-reliant. So they have to be self-reliant in order to survive. And so it's because Chrysalis, like with Idol specifically, Idol wasn't like, I believe like in the first chapter when he was talking with Queen Chrysalis. It's been a while. It's been almost a year since I've read that chapter, but they did say that she was. It seemed like she wasn't as angry with him about causing a collapse, especially after he gave his reasonings for why he strayed away from tradition. And maybe she's not trying to weed out any changelings that are different. She's she's uh, she's giving them, she's putting them out in the world on their own to see if they can put maybe not to see if they can put what they were trying to do to the test, but to see if they would be better served outside the hive, because they have because Idol very much didn't do it by tradition. So like changelings that break the traditional connotations probably might have a better chance at infiltrating. So instead of just Chrysalis being like, okay, you can try and be an infiltrator now, or I'll indulge you in architecture, just basically says, basically by throwing me out is like, okay, you got uh, your creativity as well as your lack of control on your emotions. Yeet out of the hive, and if you survive, good. If you don't, it's whether you live or not is up to your own fault. Because why else would she give let them live first of all, as well as give them love. That would several months worth of love, which uh, is apparently like not really hard to harvest, but rare enough that they just not dealing it out in full spectrum. And it could also be like part of a hidden. It could also be part of a greater scheme, as well as having these changelings that have basically integrated themselves into the pony society so thoroughly that that ponies, uh, even if they even if the disguises are their own creation, like they they're just so ingrained into that culture that it'd be simple enough for them to basically be spies behind enemy lines, not necessarily dealing back information, but more as when Canterlot Wedding happens, to basically take them down from within. And that is fantastic because Chrysalis never says how many. It's never said how many orders there are, and you never know what an order is until it triggers. What if one of the orders that they have is to either side with Chrysalis or to help her attack Canterlot? This could have been happening. She could have been orchestrating this for years, and maybe from other infiltrators, basically spying on these exiles, because she probably has infiltrators all like in Canterlot, probably scoping out her invasion plan, and seeing this obvious changeling in with the guard, in the guards, friends with a high-ranking guard, as well as on not only on speaking terms, but on friendly relations with the princesses, including the Princess of Love. And oh my gosh, it could make for a really intense story right there. And a lot of people said that would really suck for Idol, basically going against decades of building his life up for in order to have it come crashing down. Which I bring, which I bring three things into, which I bring 3 points into, is that Idol is different among changelings. So, like, yes, he is compelled to act on the orders, but I think after all that he's been through, might have weakened the mental constraints of those orders, such as when Discord discorded him. Yes, that didn't break any of the orders because Discord didn't know about it, but changing one personality so thoroughly, like he did with Idol, has to have had some lingering effects. Because he didn't really start. Like, yes, he got more comfortable over the decade-long span, but like all that, like for me, I didn't see it as like it expanded. Like he started like being more witty after Discord messed with him. I mean, I get your thing about like uh, someone else to save their flank, but we don't know how long this plan's been going for, and the ones that need saving and they can't make it on their own are Chrysalis basically culling the herd, basically sorting out the cream of the crop from the chaff, because she only wants the best of the best in these places of power. Especially, she kind of lucked out that Idol got into the guard because he went against what was natural for Changeling society of him being a digger. He went against being a digger and went into being a guard, which surprised the nurse. So we know that it's not really often that once a changeling has been that a changeling, I can't word it right, that once exiled, it seems like changelings either do stuff that they need to do to survive, but they also fall back on what they used to do in the hive. Like, hey, he went and became a he went to work for the apples in Appaloosa, and he was a gatherer when he was part of the hive, so he's falling back on his previous knowledge. Idle is not becoming an excavator or miner or anything. He's doing something completely different, which is very unprecedented. And I guess that's kind of what, like, the creativity that Chrysalis might be looking for when she's trying to get people to infiltrate, trying to get these changelings to infiltrate Equestria on such a uh, into such a minute detail in order to serve her plan. Because when the neighbor that you've known about for over a decade suddenly betrays you, that could hurt the morale of Equestria for months, if not years, to come, and that could, and it could just have so many major repercussions, especially since those ponies didn't exist in the first place until the changelings created them. And it could just be so good. It could be so good like that. That's one theory, and I also have a theory to, basically an addendum to this theory of Idle maybe getting it. I've already told you the Discord part of it. The second part of it is that he's just been around so much love, literally the goddess of love over here. So that had to, like, make him stronger, not like physically stronger, but emotionally and mentally stronger than probably any other exile that's ever come across, simply because he is always exposed to so much love. And something interesting I saw in this most recent chapter is that Idle can't feel love directed at him, although he can sense emotion that's generally directed at him. A theory I have with that is that it's not so much the same way with Cadence, is that she can't feel the emotions of people that are directed at her. It's that it only started happening, like, Idle could sense the emotions of Moth Chaser, but Moth Chaser loved Idle for who he was, not necessarily the pony Idle Hooves, but Idle Hooves as, like, his character or whatnot. His in essence, loving him on a much deeper level than just, like, I don't know, flirting with him or something like that. Same with Topaz, and he described it as it was there and gone, disappeared. I don't know where. My theory for that one is, she didn't necessarily love the mask because uh, that specific scene happened after she found out that he wasn't a pony. So the way I'm thinking about it is that love directed at a changeling specifically is not there for to be consumed as sustenance or food or anything. It's to become something more powerful, like I said, Changeling King, several times. Is like, Idle's going to be the new Changeling King or whatnot. And I think that might just be it. Is like people loving Idle for who he is and not what he is. Might spark more of that to come around, and maybe after he collects a certain amount of love, it might start triggering a transformation. And it is just so good. I'm onto something. Yes, it's been confirmed by V. Because when you mentioned that it was there and it was gone, I'm like, there's no way that is just like what Cadence experiences, because changelings are attuned to emotions on a deeper level than Cadence is. His first action as king would be to abdicate, probably. Probably only for everyone else to be like, nope, nope, you're there. You're just stuck there. Oh man, that would be so good. Idol would abdicate, but no one would let him. Funny, probably he would be ordered to remain as king. Oh man, or Celestia ordering Idol to be king. That'd be good. All right, see you in a sec, V. But yeah, those are my theories on it. It's like Idol is collecting love. He doesn't know he's collecting love like that because like no one has actually shown affection like an actual mark of affection towards Idol in the entirety of the story. Yeah, Moth Chaser might have been flirting with him, and uh, Topaz might have been dropping huge subtle hints, or uh, on top of him that she's also into him. But the thing is that uh, I think it has to be like more direct or more personal for it to actually to be counted as directed towards the person, as well as having this the thing also having the stipulation of him having to them having to know his secret. Uh, not necessarily that he's a changeling, but that he's not a pony. Hey Aster, welcome to the stream. I am talking about theories about the new chapter. It was amazing. Please catch up on this story because it's so good. It's so good, and I don't want you to be spoiled. I really need to fix my recording cave. The flaps here are just they're just bugging me. Get back, I say. There you go. I mean, eventually. I mean, like, you have the first 18, almost 19 chapters just ready for you to listen to. Chapter 20 is coming out tonight. So, yeah, there's like, it's so good. Just read like a chapter a week, and it'll be like fantastic. Yeah, lost my train of thought there. But yeah, love the new chapter. Can't wait to see where it goes. Fractal! Fractal Man! Fractal Man! I really wish that everything would always go to plan for the most part. Like, seriously, like, when has the last time anything that I've, like, oh, I'm going to do this? When has that, like, actually come to fruition? I mean, I get that you want to read it first. Like, do what I do, just like a chapter a week. It's so good. It will only take you a few minutes, like half hour tops, and it'll take you a lot less time than these streams because I keep on messing up on reading. And let's see, where am I here? Okay, I need to name this thing because, or else I will forget. Chapter 20. Fall in. There we go. Welcome back, V. Yeah, just the time. Like you got a lot of time, my dude, and directing it to reading the story, I'd say is like the best use of your time because it's just so good. It's one of those stories I just want to keep reading, and I'm just like hoping that gets updated. Uh, like every time I see an update, I'm like, yes, I don't care if I'm at work right now. I'm reading this chapter right now. screw work. I am reading this chapter, which is kind of what I did when the last chapter came out. So I read it in like 3 sections. Envy. I loved the reference to idle hooves are the devil's tools. That was, as soon as that happened, I'm like, yes. Everything is canon. Everything. Oh no. I almost dropped my water all over my computer. That would have been probably bad. Alright. Idle is kind of a meme, yeah. Alright, should we start actually reading this story, huh? Oh! The stream cut off last time before I could actually show anyone what my planned voice for Shining was. It like cut off right when I was like starting to voice Shining. So you guys missed the entire planning stage I was having with you about that. It was just so funny. It was like I'm just going off talking about Shining and whatnot. Look over, reconnecting. I'm like, wait, what? How long has this been going on? Hopefully that's fixed. Cross your fingers, because I don't know. We might not be out of the woods yet. I'm hoping. But yeah, I'm thinking about this for Shining, because it got that dude mode in that he usually does during the show, and it also makes me want to kill myself. So let's do this. Oh man, Shining, your voice. Why did I choose this one as your voice? Well, you could just cross your legs. You just cross your legs, cross your eyes. I don't know, get not split ends, but just like tangle your mane together, tie your tail in a knot, and there you go. You're crossing all the things. I'm crossing my feathers right now because I really hope this goes well. I don't even know why I chose a Pegasus OC, to be honest, because I'm a night owl. Why didn't I choose bat wings? Those are so cool. Anyway, I'm a pure white Pegasi. That's a night pony. Makes about as much sense as anything else that happens in my life. Am I right? You sit down when you cross your legs. That's your... no. Habit, are you okay? Okay. Let's do this thing, shall we? Alright. But yeah, I'm thinking this for Shining Armor. Hi, I'm Shining Armor. Oh, man. Too late. The train comes alive and it eats you. Oh, great job, GM. Now he'll never leave. Get a number on that kumquat. Well, like, not necessarily not having wings in general, but being a thestral instead of a pegasi, Aster. Because, like, the thestral part kind of fits more into the theme of just me being a child of the night, and how I usually go to sleep when the sun comes up, and then I'm working all throughout the night. And I wear darker colors all the time, like a white OC, a pure white OC. When my favorite color to wear is like black and like navy and whatnot. Like, I don't even know what I was thinking. I think I actually I know exactly what I was thinking. I couldn't find a good color that looked good on my OC way back in 2012 when I was 2014, 2014 when I was making my OC. But too late to change it now. It's everywhere. No, everyone knows this is Nox, so we're all good. Okay, let's get started on this chapter, shall we? Oh man, a black OC with a white mane. Somehow I think that would look worse. I know it's been done before, and it actually looks pretty good on people that have done it. I just don't think it's my color scheme, to be honest. Okay, let's see. Changeling of the Guard. I should probably record a new intro for the Changeling of the Guard stuff because I've got a new microphone, I got more stuff, and I'm more comfortable doing this. I use the same intro of Changeling of the Guard, written by for almost a year now. I recorded that after chapter 2, and I just keep on sticking it in front of every video. No. Bad habit. Bad habit. I'm not becoming Donut Steel. I refuse to become Donut Steel. And here we go. Chapter 20. Fall in. Chapter 20. Fall in. Too much of a space there, I think. Yeah, I am not. Yeah, I'm just not becoming a donut still. Oh man, Aster, imagine if your OC was a black goat with a white coat and a white jacket instead of a white goat with a black jacket. Eh? Something to think about? Possibly. That could be like your edgelord version, like the one that actually uses its snake's power instead of being afraid of the snake that's attached to its butt. I mean, that could work. That could possibly work. We'll talk about it maybe next week. Oh, I also got news for everyone that's watching. Got news for everyone. I have Saturdays off. So, I'm going to be putting on the Discord soon after this live stream's over about what day would work a lot better for people. Monday, Sunday, or Saturday. It'll always be at the same time, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Pacific. But I'm wondering which day would work for more people to come to these streams, because I want to include as many people as I can in these shenanigans. So, I'm going to be putting a straw poll of that on Discord later. If people do it, okay. If people don't, that's fine. I'll collect all the. I'll look at the ballots on a Thursday, and then I'll plan out the live stream from there. Oh no! If I do it on weekends, Habit can't make it. Oh no! Might have to host 2 streams then, huh? Maybe not. We'll see if we'll see. All right, see you in a bit, Aster. Chapter 20. Fall in. That sounded a lot better. 9 p.m. Eastern on the way. Yeah, I get that. Okay, that works. Saving that bit. 9 p.m. Eastern on the weekends, and these streams usually go to 11 at night. So I get that most people, that this is really only convenient to people in the Midwest, to be honest. I could actually change it to maybe 4. Maybe 4, but if it's maybe 4, then it'll have to be most likely on restricted to Mondays only. Yeah, if it's Mondays only, then it have to happen at 4. Uh, so yeah, that I'll figure it out when I put in the straw poll uh later, because like I have a lot of things to get done on the weekends, because they're now my weekends to get all this stuff done, including a few secret projects that I haven't told anyone about that are hopefully coming in the future. But yeah, maybe maybe 5 on. Maybe I could do 5 on Saturday. Sunday is kind of more tricky to work out, but Saturday I might be able to do 5. To be honest, depends on how tired I am, because I'm planning on, because again, night owl, and I'm going to go to a morning brony meetup. So we'll see how it goes. We'll just see. We'll see how it goes, and we'll worry about that bridge when we come to it. Right? Right? Everyone good? Everyone good on that? So, oh, and V, like, you stepped out, but I already told Habit this, is that my theory is that the the love that Idol felt briefly and then it vanished. What there's 2 stipulations for Idol, basically getting stronger with love, and like that he might reach a metamorphosis kind of state to maybe ascend into a king. Is that one, they have to love him for who he is and not just what he is, whether it be pony or just as a changeling or anything like that. Has to love him for himself. It's what matters on the inside, whether that be changeling goop or not. And so that's the first stipulation. Second is that they have to be in on his secret. Not necessarily that he's a changeling, but that he's not a pony. So those are my 2 things, because Idol feeling love for Moth Chaser in that, actually 3 stipulations, and it has to be like a physical uh, display of affection, because that only happened after Moth Chaser kissed him, and that hasn't really happened over the decade that he's been in Equestria. So this could be the first time that all those factors just kind of hit at the same time, and it might work out towards that small spark of pure love for who he is, no matter whether he's changeling or pony or whatever, and just physically showing it instead of just saying, "Oh, I love you, I know," kind of deal, is what makes that love much more powerful than just the regular exchange of love that they have. I mean, like, the third stipulation uh, might be yes, but but I'm hard set on those first 2. Is that they love him for who he is, and they're in on the secret that he's not necessarily a pony, and that's what I'm sticking with, because that, for me, that makes the most sense. And you're probably just cackling over because you already know the full story, and you're just like, you're either he's so close, uh, he might be right on it, or he's just like, man, you're way off left field, but this is hilarious to see you ramble. So that's my theory. Not sticking to it, but hey, that's just a theory, an idle theory. Thanks for watching. Oh man. Oh man. Yep. Exactly. Exactly. I could either be right on the money or way off. Yeah, yeah. Just my. It's just an idle curiosity of mine. Ah, man. I need to do more of those side fics, to be honest, because I love the name that I put up for it of Idle Curiosity. I guess, oh man, imagine me doing the superhero one next. That could be fun. Cue the bloof. Cue the bloof! Bloof away! And that blog was amazing. I read through every single post of that. Best part of that was you should probably introduce him to miniature trains so he gets used to it. Didn't work. Now he's terrified that they've been sent by the larger trains to assassinate him. Probably didn't help that I set them around his cocoon in the middle of the night, and it's so hard to try and keep a straight face because he's just so worried about these trains. That was like my favorite post on the blog, and it's so good. Oh man, maybe I should do a blog reading. Oh man, could you imagine that? It's just like a bunch of vectors of Idle together, and it's like of like Idle and the rest of the crew from the story, and just do like celebrities read the most commonly asked questions, and it's just for Idle Idle on the blog. Oh, thank you for reminding me of that blog. That's something that I want to do now. Curse you, because I have so much to do already. But oh man, that sounds amazing. That sounds so amazing. All right. All right. Let's see if I can actually start this. All right. Thankfully, as it turned out, Shining was the only one to have attended any sort of pre-training training, which is another pony absurdity. To require education in how to be educated seems complex beyond the point of my ability to understand. If one cannot be educated, how does one educate them in the ability they lack, given that they lack the ability to be educated? But I digress. The concept makes my head hurt. Ooh! Yes, the transcript. Yes. Hey, hey, Topaz, I have an idea on how to help Idle get over his fear of trains. It's called model railroading. You take model trains and put them on the tracks and run magic, electricity, whatever, and make them run. They're smaller than Idle's, so it helps. Okay, so I might have built the tracks around his cocoon while he slept, and now he thinks they're younger training to hunt him. In hindsight, I should have expected that, but right now it's just really, really funny, and that he made me chase them away with a broom. I'll explain it someday. Training. Darn it, now I have to keep a straight face or he'll get suspicious. It's just so good. I love it so much. It's oh. Training. Darn it, now I have to keep a straight face or he'll get suspicious. Oh man. Those are just like so good. So good. I love them so much. Oh no, what did I do? Oh, there we go. Whew. Oh, and it's right here. I accidentally flipped to where the blog is. If anyone's curious, here's the URL to the blog. It's just a gold mine. It's just so good. So good. Oh man. Shining proved to be very adept at the most basic. Shining proved to be very adept at most of the basic drill maneuvers. Shining proved to be very adept at most of the basic drill maneuvers. Shining proved to be very adept at most of the basic drill maneuvers we were taught, and I quickly found myself emulating his example. It was all very simple, it turned out. Walk at a very set pace, your hooves should fall in unison, turn on the beat of a command. I did that right, and I still pause it. No! No! Oh man, it's just so good. It's so good. That water is delicious too, but it's so good. Uh, oh, I didn't even talk about the master plan of him getting set up with Wispy and Bold. That was so good. That was so good. It was so good. I just love how how Cadence is just now kind of mad at Idol for just ruining all of her plans, all of her beautiful shipping plans. Oh man, it was like such a heavy-handed approach, but it worked so well. And I wonder if they caught him climbing through the window, what he would have done, or would he have just fallen down, landed perfectly fine, and just keep going away as Wispy's like chasing him down. Epic chasing as Idol's just jumping off of tall objects. He can leap off of tall objects with a single bound. Faster than a speeding locomotive, because if he isn't, they'll eat him. Oh man. Stronger than a speeding locomotive, or else they will eat him. Able to clear large cliffs with a single jump. No, Idol, other way. He's just like Superman, and it's just his powers are more comical because it's just all towards like either fear or just something he does so normally that everyone's like, oh god, he just jumped off a building. I'm perfectly fine. This is completely normal for me. More belly flops of justice to be had. Someone in the background is like, okay, bring in the idle railgun. There is crime afoot. And then, boo! And then Idol just shoots across Equestria to belly flop on like a petty theft. Oh man, it's just so good. So why do I make myself laugh at most of these things? I'm not supposed to be distracting myself. You guys are supposed to be distracting me. Just boom. It's like on New Year's stream last year is pop. Where that bottle of Marinelli's just popped its cork, and I still have no idea how it did that. Oh, that was such a beautiful stream. I hope I can be able to replicate it again this year, because that was so much fun. That was 3 degrees too far to the right. That was 3 degrees too far to the right. I ended up several hundred miles away from my intended target. And so the belly flop of justice was not executed today. Shining proved to be very adept at most of the basic drill maneuvers. Oh no, what did I do? Oh no! Bring it back! Bring it back, I'm sorry! Bring it back! No! No! Where's redo? Where's the redo button? Control Y, okay. Not control to you. Control Y. Control Y. Oh, thank goodness. I almost got rid of all of that. We were aiming for Ponyville. I hit a gambling den in Stalingrad. A victory, but not the intended one. Oh man, now I want a story about Idle the crime fighter where he's just launched out of a cannon towards the nearest den of crime. Towards a den of crime and to take it down. Oh man, it would be so beautiful. Or comic. Oh, could you imagine a comic of that? Where's Ty? Where's Ty Scope when you need him? Imagine a comic of just Idol being launched out of the cannon. It's so good. Oh man, just imagine like instead of at Mario Kart when you throw a blue shell, you load up a gun and it's just Idle on top and it's just like boo. It's just launching towards first place. Sir, I believe you are exceeding the speed limit. It just like jumps on the front cart. Or like, stop, you have violated the law. Surrender now or face the consequences. Oh man. It's just so good. Why do I keep on thinking of all these awesome concepts I'm never going to retouch on after the stream? It's just, they're all just so good. Shining proved to be very adept at most of the basic Skrill maneuvers. Skrillex. The most basic Skrillex maneuvers. Yeah! Just scream as loudly as into my microphone. Shining proved to be very adept at most of the basic drill maneuvers we were taught, and I quickly found myself emulating his example. It was all very simple, it turned out. Walk at a very set pace, your hooves should fall in unison, turn on the beat of a command. It was also very changeling in the action, but so very pony in how they managed it. The idea of standing in formation, ignoring all things around them, and actively not working, it was very strange, and I did not like it. And I messed up that in the middle of that whole paragraph, and I just powered through it, and now I have to return. Oh yeah, that's your it's your absolute favorite stream of just like, oh man. Yes, goat streams are the best screams. Shining proved to be very adept at most of the basic drill maneuvers we were taught. That was a very large pace because I was trying to pronounce that D. Shining proved to be very adept at most of the basic drill maneuvers we were taught, and I quickly found myself emulating his example. It was all very simple, it turned out. Walk at a very set pace. Oh no, curse you, water. Curse you. You ruined my take. No. Shining proved to be very adept at most of the basic drill maneuvers we were taught, and I quickly found myself emulating his example. It was all very simple, it turned out. Walk at a very set pace, your hooves should fall in unison, turn on a beat of command. It was also very changeling in the action, but so very pony in how they managed it. The idea of standing in formation, ignoring all things around them, and actively not working, it was very strange, and I did not like it. That there were no less than 3 commands that amounted to various states of not moving from a spot, at least 2 to enter formations, and 1 to hold absolutely still, only served to further my confusion. that there were no less than 3 commands that amounted to various states of not moving from a spot, to at least 2 to enter formation, and 1 to hold absolutely still, only served to further my confusion. That I could do these things was to be lauded, apparently, and more than one pony was unable to obey these very simple orders once explained. A sergeant gave me a hard push that nearly toppled me, but thankfully I was able to adhere myself to a large stone that I had the luck of standing on, all without moving limbs. I was given a firm nod for my apparent lack of effort, and they moved on. What is that sentence? Large stone that I had the luck of standing on, all without moving limbs. That's probably right, but just doesn't sound right. And, hold on. There we go. Reset for the new chapter. Boom. That there were no less than 3 commands that amounted to various states of not moving from a spot, at least 2 to enter formations, and 1 to hold absolutely still, only served to further my confusion. That I could do these things was to be lauded, apparently, and more than one pony was unable to obey these very simple orders once explained. A sergeant gave me a hard push that nearly toppled me, but thankfully I was able to adhere myself to a large stone that I had the luck of standing on, all without moving limbs. I was given a firm nod for my apparent lack of efforts, and they moved on. Waits for the number to rise. No, I won't do that to you. Not yet. But is always watching. Always watching. Java, I don't have time for you right now. Java, get off my stream. The rest of that day was spent focusing on drills, which, again, are also an earth-moving and rock-piercing apparatus, as well as a term for various forms of march or running movement. We were taken to a small building at the end of the day, told these would be our sleeping chambers. I drink tea all the time. My first few streams were only drinking tea. Except, drinking tea somehow made me mess up more. Yes, water makes me burp, but drinking tea made me unable to pronounce things. It was so weird. It was so weird. I love tea. I drink it every night after the stream. And it's just so good. Yeah, I get the joke. I just chose to ignore it. Oh man, I'm actually planning on making mead, to be honest. I just need to have enough money to buy the honey I need, and then I can make mead. I can make some good mead. And have it trying to pull that tea joke on me, and I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling for it, Habit. Oh man. We were taken to a small building at the end of the day, told these would be our sleeping chambers for the beginning of training in order to keep the barracks clean. After we had passed our first physical tests and inspections, we were given a more thorough instruction. Blah. Yeah, I haven't tried mead before, but apparently it's very sweet, and that's why I really like. I like really sweet drinks because, I only started drinking. Last week after the stream failed spectacularly. I'm like, I'm gonna try this because my roommate just has some. So Viking Blood, yeah. But I tried some last week. It was a very interesting experience, and I tried it again 2 nights ago, and it worked just the same. It was really good. I just don't like the taste of alcohol. I just don't like it. So I'm trying to find something so sweet that like overpowers the taste of the alcohol. And it's not necessarily the alcohol itself, it's like the aftertaste of alcohol is just blech. Like I had some like Bacardi white rum. Like I took a shot of that. Not as bad as everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, you're going to die from taking a shot of that." Not too bad, but I don't want to. I don't want to keep doing it, mainly because just too much alcohol, not enough sweet in there. It was basically vodka. So next time I'm going to try and get a sweet, really sweet drink. Maybe make my own mead. I'll let you know how that turns out because I may or may not be getting honey with this next paycheck. Don't tell Idle I'm getting honey though because he might raid my stores. Oh man, imagine Idle just suddenly transported to a honey aisle, just that's full of rows and rows of honey. Uh, it is said that several hours later, the authorities found Idle hooves uh, sucking on a bottle of honey while surrounded by empty bottles of the same substance. The fact that he doesn't remember what happened prior to seeing this Isle of Honey is unknown, and might point out to the fact that he might the honey he might have had something to drink beforehand. Sorry, my friend just sent me something on Discord, and I'm getting distracted with lots of things I probably shouldn't be getting distracted from. But you all are causing this, I believe. So yeah, this is so accurate it hurts, but it's just so funny still. Gonna get every day, every single day without fail. What was I doing again? Oh yeah, reading this. We were taken to a small building at the end of the day, told these would be our sleeping chambers for the beginning of training in order to keep the barracks clean. After we had passed our first physical tests and inspections. Ah, gosh. We were taken to a small building at the end of the day, told these would be our sleeping chambers for the beginning of training in order to keep the barracks clean. After we had passed our first physical tests and inspections, we would be given a more thorough instruction. After the sergeant left, there was some claims of top bunk and a few Pegasi scuffled. Scuffled? Scuffled. I've never seen that word before. Am I going to learn a new word today? Engage in a short, confused fight or struggle at close quarters. Oh man, I love new words. They're so good. Thank you, V, for expanding my vocabulary. After the sergeant left, there were some claims of top bunk, and a few Pegasi scuffled for the few small bed pairs that were near windows, shining to the bed nearest the door, and began to collect his gear on the bottom bunk. Might not want to be first bunk, he cautioned. Everyone says first bunk and last bunk get the worst of an inspection. Why can't I say words? Why can't I say words? Might not want the top bunk, he cautioned. Everyone says the first and last bunk get the worst of an inspection. I sound like I'm drunk. I sound like I'm drunk. I swear I'm not. I swear I'm not drunk. Maybe on this story, but other than that. The word of the day is scuffled. Today's word of the day brought to you by V-Drake and Nox, learning together. Scoofled. No. Not the scoofle. Anything but the scoofle. Might not want to get first bunk. Might not want to be the first bunk, he cautioned. Everyone says first and last bunk get the worst of an inspection. Interesting. Would you not prefer the top bunk? Figured you called it. Oh, no. Figured you called it. Doesn't really matter to me, actually. If it is all the same, I would prefer the bottom. It was not that I had any real difficulty with the height, but the idea of being between two beds instead of an open-air The idea of being between two beds instead of open to the air thoroughly appealed to... There we go. I was reading that so wrong. Probably highlight this because for whatever reason, I can't see tonight. It was not that I had any real difficulty with the height, but the idea of being between two beds instead of open to the air thoroughly appealed to me. I wondered if I could arrange something similar to Topaz's. Obviously, I could simply sleep in a cocoon, but for all appearance sake, that would not do. And here, I could not do that at all. It was not that I had any real difficulty with the height, but the idea of being between two beds instead of open to the air thoroughly appealed to me. I wondered if I could arrange something similar to Topaz's. Obviously, I could simply sleep in a cocoon, but for the appearance sake, that would not do. And here, I could not do that at all. Oh, really? Though he tried hard not to sound pleased, I felt that he was. The idea that he had purposely taken the lower bunk to appease his shared bunk pony pleased me. This pony would have done very well as a changeling, and seemed to have a good mindset. Well, thanks, Idle. Come on. Well, come on. He's starting to sound like an older and older pony the more I'm speaking about him. Well, we'll get to that eventually. In this... Oh, man, I just had a funny thought for, just, a side fic, is that, them trying to get Idle to retire, and he is just not having it. He's like, no, I do not want to not work. Oh, man, just imagine them trying to force Idle into retirement, because he won't do it on his own. Even ordered to, he would just be appalled to not work. Well, thanks, Idle. Come on, we'll start first physicals in the morning. Crack of dawn, you know how it is. He was positively cheerful at the idea. Idle sheds his pony form and becomes a teen again. Celestia, you know what? I give up. You know what? No, just... I give up. Topaz being just in the corner being like, Idle, just Idle, please, no, just no. That's not how this works. I crawled into bed and began the process of clearing my mind that usually led to a present rest. I had not... Something popped. And I will not stand for the popping. That probably came from my mouth, but seriously. I crawled into my bed and began the process of clearing my mind that usually led to a present rest. A present rest. Not a pleasant rest, but a present. I would love a present rest. Where's Idle? He's presently resting. I crawled into my bed and began the process of clearing my mind that usually led to a pleasant rest. I had not been as prepared as I should have been. However, I also had not been less prepared than some of the others. I decided with some comfort that I was roughly in the middle, a good place to be. The schedule for the next days had been passed out, and I found it interesting and very much to my liking that we would have plans for almost a month of training even before it began. And so, my training began in earnest. I probably missed several. I don't know how much I missed or how much I read right. Oh, yay, thank goodness. What am I going to do for this transition? Meanwhile, the next day. V, why do you do this to me? How am I supposed... Tuesday. Like, what? V, no, why do you do this to me? Tuesday. Meanwhile, on the Looney Turtle channel. Who keeps announcing the day? Who keeps announcing the day? I thought you announced the day. Idol, you know what I mean. I was born on a Tuesday. Meanwhile, on the Brony Notion channel. Meanwhile, on the Bat Pony barracks. Oh man, just like just Moth Chaser holding back New Moons from just basically attacking, assaulting Idol because of how good he smells. You poor soul. Tuesday. How's that? Oh my gosh. Yes, singing as Flim and Flam. I've been practicing singing as Flim and Flam, mainly because I knew it was going to pop up in the story. I've been singing Super Speedy Cider Squeezy for so long. Thank you, one and all. We present you our new machine. It's just over the top ham. That is all that I'm going to do for Flim and Flam. You might not even be able to tell the difference between Flim and Flam because they are going to sound so familiar. And I have no idea what voice was that, but that sounds like. I just love this. Oh, hold on. No, speakers. You don't want to go out from there. You want to go out for. Come on, let me. Hide, redo. No, properties. There we go. No. There we go. Now I can hear my thing. It's for almost a month of training, even before it began. And so, my training began in earnest. Tuesday. just Tuesday. I don't know why, but that's just so hilarious. Oh, man. Tuesday. Running was a simple task, and though I did not excel at it, nor was I exceptionally winded, being lighter than the average. Running was a simple task, and though I did not excel at it, nor was I exceptionally winded, being lighter than the average earth pony seemed in my favor, though I stood no chance against the Pegasi, who were also given an air course to determine their placement. I learned that this was to be a training exercise completed daily. We'd either run or we would do something akin to the push-ups of the previous day, and I completely messed that up. It's for almost Running was a simple task, and though I did not excel at it, nor was I exceptionally winded, being lighter than the average earth pony seemed to be in my favor. There's no B right there. Just Tuesday. Just I don't know why that's so funny. It's just Tuesday. uh,
Tuesday, Tuesday, Tuesday.
no, stop it. I did not mean to. Okay, let's put it back down to normal. Tuesday. I don't know why, but that's just. Oh man, I should probably make that my text tone. Just me just saying Tuesday. Don't know why that's so funny. Hopefully you're all getting a kick out of it. Running was a simple task, and though I did not excel at it, nor was I exceptionally winded, being lighter than the average earth pony seemed in my favor, though I stood no chance against the Pegasi, who were also given an air course to determine their placement. I learned that this was to be a daily training. Running was a simple task, and though I did not excel at it, nor was I exceptionally winded, being lighter than the average earth pony seemed to be in my favor. Running was a simple task, and though I did not excel at it, nor was I exceptionally winded, being lighter than the average earth pony seemed in my favor, though I stood no chance against the Pegasi, who were also given an air course to determine their placement. I learned that this was to be a training exercise completed daily. We would either run or we would do something akin to the push-ups of the previous day, until it was time to enter our first meal of the day. Unicorns were expected to keep up with the earth ponies, which seems grossly unfair to a number of the others, shining armor not included. And one unicorn even argued that no unicorn ever had to run when teleportation was an option. As I understood it, he was still alternating between running in place and push-ups long after the rest of us took a break. The Pegasi would have a more complex rotation involving the flying exercises. Oh man, that was a long paragraph. Complex rotation involving the flying exercises. Pegasi would have a more complex rotation involving the flying exercises. Push-ups, long after the rest of us took a break. Pegasi would have a more complex rotation involving the flying exercises. There we go. Fix that. The rest of the morning consisted of being given the tour of our various gear that we would need for training, though to my disappointment, this did not include armor. Shortly before dinner, we received a second physical endurance test that I had not anticipated, and I stood in line before a large hole cut in the earth and filled with water. Yes, the idle swimming for the first time. Okay, first row, jump in. Does he sound like a grumpy trainer enough? Okay, first row, jump in. It started good. Okay, first row, jump in. Well, now we got some people, got some pony sharing answers now. You. Okay, first row, jump in. And so I went. Soon enough, my hooves touched the bottom of the pool. Resolutely, I made my way towards the opposite wall, ignoring the muffled screaming I heard from above me. Apparently, there was another recruit in the process of drowning. I looked around, but I could not see any pony else. Oddly, I also found that I could not reach the ladder that stuck in on the surface of the pool. Though I tried to leap at it a few times, I found that I simply could not get a good leap on. It's just so good. I don't know how to go Full Metal Jacket, though. Well, now, we got some pony sharing answers now. Sharing answers with your best friend. It was so much fun voicing that instructor. And so I went. Soon enough, my hoofs touched the bottom of the pool. Resolutely, I made my way towards the opposite wall. And so I went. Soon enough, my hooves touched the bottom of the pool. Resolutely, I made my way forward towards the opposite wall. And so I went. Soon enough, my hooves touched the bottom of the pool. Resolutely, I made my way forwards to the opposite wall, ignoring the muffled screaming. And so I went. Soon enough, my hooves touched the bottom of the pool. Resolutely, I made my way forward toward the V. You could have cut out 2 words here if you just put towards instead of forward to the opposite wall. I know it's more idle, but still. Only steers and queers come from Texas now, boy. Oh, man, that's so good. And you're not a steer, so that narrows it down. And so I went. Soon enough, my hooves touched the bottom of the pool. Resolutely, I made my way forward towards the opposite wall, ignoring the muffled screaming that I heard from above. The way you worded this is making it so much harder. And so I went. Soon enough, my hooves touched the bottom of the pool. Resolutely, I made my way forward to the opposite wall, ignoring the muffled screaming I heard from above me. Apparently, there was another recruit in the process of drowning. I looked around, but I could not see any pony else. Oddly, I also found that I could not reach the ladder that stuck in on the surface of the pool, and though I tried to leap at it a few times, I found that I simply could not get a good leap under the press of water. The sides of the pool were also too slick to climb. Confused, I sat down and stared up at the ladder, wondering why that seemed like such a complex problem. I apparently dozed off while contemplating, as I found myself waking on the surface to a very thorough kiss. Unsure why this was so, but not wanting to seem rude. Apparently, I dozed off while contemplating, as I found myself walking on the surface of water. Your Lord and Savior, Idle Hooves, walks on water. More specifically, walks underneath the water, but he walks, in water. I apparently dozed off while contemplating, as I found myself walking on the Not walking, it's waking! I apparently dozed off while contemplating, as I found myself waking on the surface to a very thorough kiss. Unsure why this was so, but not wanting to seem rude, I responded in kind, and found my sergeant coughing and spitting water, rubbing a hoof over his tongue and making displeased sounds. Apparently, I was more suited as the passive receiver of such affection. Why was that so hard? Why was that the hardest one I had to... I apparently dozed off while contemplating, as I found myself waking on the surface to a very thorough kiss. Unsure why this was so, but not wanting to seem rude, I responded again. And this was the start of Idle's legend. Not the sock on the knob, but him just kissing one of his sergeants. I apparently dozed off while contemplating, as I found myself waking on the surface to a very thorough kiss. Unsure why this was so, but not wanting to seem rude, I responded in kind, and found my sergeant coughing and spitting water, rubbing a hoof over his tongue and making displeased sounds. Apparently I was more suited as the passive receiver of such affection. Still, it seemed impolite to bring it up. Did I pass? I mumbled, spitting out more water. I found that I did not like swimming much. I'm going to do a break here because I don't want to repeat this. Pass? What? Thank you, puberty, for hitting just at that moment. Oh, man. Pass? Colt, you sank like a stone. You went the designated distance, yes, but you did not come back up. Pass? Colt, you sank like a stone. You went the designated distance, yes, but you did not come back up. Was that required? I asked in a moment of dread. Not technically, no. Not technically, no. The drill looked more annoyed with himself, but scowled at me. Sleigh bells and Tartarus, Colt, you don't weigh more than a wet rag. We're putting you on double rations starting tomorrow until you meet weight and extra training. Celestia's beard, you'll fall out of formation because you've undernourished. Why was that? Pass? Colt, you sank like a stone. You went the designated distance, yes, but you didn't come back up. Was that required? I asked in a moment of dread. Not technically, no. The drill looked more annoyed. The drill. The drill looked more annoyed. The drill looked more annoyed with himself, but scowled at me. Sleigh bells and Tartarus, Colt, you don't weigh. Why am I going honey? Honey, no, you're not. You're not a drill sergeant. Honey, get out of here. Well, not if you don't say it like that, Sugar Cube. Why are you saying Applejack's lines now? Oh man. I'm almost done with this section of the chapter. Sleigh bells and Tartarus, Colt, you don't weigh more than a wet rag. Sleigh bells and Tartarus, Colt, you don't weigh more than a wet rag. A wet wag. a wet wag. Why is that so hard? Her punishment detail involves bees. Not the bees! Not the bees! Ah! More annoyed with himself, but scowled at me. Sleigh bells and Tartarus, Colt, you don't weigh more than a wet rag. We're putting you on double rations starting tomorrow until you meet weight and extra training. Celestia's beard, you'll fall out of formation because you're undernourished. I'll be celebrating my golden years on the sun, but don't you worry. Lazy, we'll get you floating. But don't you worry, Lazy, we'll get you floating. But don't you worry. But don't you worry, Lazy, we'll get you floating. Cause we all float down here. We all float. But don't you worry, Lazy, we'll get you floating. Wednesday. I just love this so much. Can you do more transitions like this? It's just so good. Wednesday. You're kidding me. No, sir, he ate 6 MREs and requested another. Celestia's own truth. You sure they were MREs? Positive. Cut to Pennywise with Idle popping the balloons with a grim expression. I am sorry, sir, but this is a no-balloon area. I mean, she could kick him off the mountain, but he'll just come floating back up. Cause they all float. They all float down here. They all float in this regiment. I stared back and forth between the two officers, who seemed confused for the reasons I could not fathom. I had never been fed so thoroughly in my entire life, and it wasn't nearly as unpleasant as I had been led to believe. I stared back and forth between the two officers, who seemed confused for reasons I could not fathom. I had never been fed so thoroughly in my entire life, and it wasn't nearly as unpleasant as I'd been led to believe. As I'd been led to believe. As I had. Oh! Well, now, what do we have here? What do we have here? We have also a contraction now. Well, it's been a while since I've seen one of these. But we're still ahead of the decade skip. So I believe this counts as a typo. Yeah! I knew there was a typo hiding here. I was positive of it. No typos shall slip past me. No siree. And I will keep on doing this. I will keep on doing this character because it is so much fun to play. And wasn't! Thank you, Habit! I was waiting for someone to point out it wasn't. Thank you, Habit. Thank Habit for pointing out a second typo. I love finding these typos. They're just so much fun. Positive. Frothing rage. And hey, you don't direct it at me. Point it. I'm just the messenger. Two in the same sentence. Exactly. Maybe that's what tripped me up so much. One, I could possibly handle. Two, in a pre-time skip idle, it is just not happening. I stared back and forth between the two officers, who seemed confused for the reasons I could not fathom. I had never been fed so thoroughly in my entire life, and it was not nearly as unpleasant as I had been led to believe. Why am I so quiet in this one, in this recording, when I was just so loud in the last week? Just last week, I was peaking my mic all over the place. Maybe I scoop my mic closer. Maybe do some finagling. I stared back and forth between the two officers, who seemed confused for reasons I could not fathom. I had never been fed so thoroughly in my entire life, and it was not nearly as unpleasant as I had been led to believe. Now that looks better. Shining stared in unabashed awe. Where? How? Why? Where? How? Why? Why would you do that to yourself? Where? How? Why? Where? How? Why? Where? How? Why? I wondered if it would be rude to lick my plate clean. With sadness, I decided it would be. Topaz had never approved. I was hungry and ordered my fill. With sadness, I decided it would be. Topaz had never approved. I was hungry and ordered to eat my fill. When you die, who do we send the body to? He asked, still stunned. Topaz Shower. She lives near the... Topaz Showers. Topaz Showers. She lives near the university. send the body to? In order to eat my fill. In order to eat my fill. In order to eat my fill. When you... In order to eat my fill. Yeah, that's right. But for the sake of you just being like, it might be a little hard to hear, I'll do it all again. I was hungry in order to eat my fill. I was hungry in order to eat my fill. When you die, who do we send your body to? He asked, still stunned. Topaz Showers. She lives near the university. The others seemed taken aback by this, but there were a few chuckles. I guess we should have a scientist look at you. Are you going to eat? Are you going to eat that? Aha! And now it's deleted forever. No one's going to notice I made any mistake whatsoever. Ha ha ha. I was hungry in order to eat my fill. When you die, who do we send your body to? He asked, still stunned. Topaz Showers. She lives near the university. The others seemed taken aback by this, but there were a few chuckles. I guess we should have a scientist look at you. Are you going to eat that? Even the other officers cracked a smile at that. It was disappointing, but it didn't... Even the officers cracked a smile at that. It was disappointing. That's true. When he mentioned sending his corpse to a scientist, exactly. Like, and the guards obviously know who Topaz is. She has a reputation as the Bugmare, and she suddenly shows up with this pony that now is just her roommate. Like, yeah, they might explain it away as just like someone she met on her travels, but staying there for a whole decade, they might think that they're like dating or something, but not necessarily. So we'll never know. Well, we do know, but they could be thinking that maybe an experiment of the Bugmare. Who knows? Even the officers cracked a smile at that. It was disappointing, but I did not receive a 7th MRE. Oh well, perhaps the order to eat my fill was another pony term for eat more than normal. Still, it was nice change not to nose about with such small rations. Even the officers cracked a smile at that. It was disappointing, but I did not receive a 7th MRE. Oh well, perhaps the order to eat my fill was another pony torm. A pony torm. Now I'm Brooklyn? Even the other officers cracked a smile at that. It was disappointing, but I did not receive a 7th MRE. Oh well, perhaps the order to eat my fill was another pony term for eat more than normal. Still, it was a nice change not to nose about with such small rations. Thursday. Small rations. Thursday. I love these. Oh, I love these time cards. Meanwhile. Monday, Tuesday, happy day. Wednesday, Thursday, happy day. Friday, Saturday, happy day. Ooh, that's strange. Sorry, I'm being distracted again by more things in the Discord happening. All right, Colts and Maz, listen and listen good. This begins your... Alright, Cultimez, listen and listen good. This begins your combat placement test. You will not, I repeat, you will not use magic other than when you are told. You will not, and I repeat again, will not use these spells outside of training or the practice grounds. Stun spells are not a joke, and concussions are just a thing Earth ponies get. Oh, I messed that line up completely. And messing up my mic as well, peeking it out. Oh well. Alright, Cultimez, listen and listen good. This begins your combat placement test. You will not, I repeat, you will not use magic other than when you are told. You will not, and I repeat again, will not use these spells outside of training or the practice grounds. Sun spells are not a joke, and concussions are not just a thing Earth ponies get. That was fun. I love playing this guy. He's just so good. This training seemed mostly focused on the abilities of individual ponies. Earth ponies were being taught a variety of grappling moves. Their enhanced strength considered their means of choice for subduing the unruly or aggressive. Pegasi had their speed capitalized on, and were mostly taught lunging strikes. Unicorns, such as myself, were given a combination of both, having neither the agility nor the raw strength of the other two kinds of ponies. Any pony found more capable in one area or another would be moved as best suited them, but unicorns had a fourth option that they could do in tandem with their other training. Because of their tendency for unique abilities to present themselves in a unicorn's magic, combative magic was a possibility. There we go. Shining Armor, I found, had the impressive talent of making a sturdy dome around himself. More than that, it was capable of withstanding more than one or two blows that average shield spells. You're going to make me say shield spells. Why? Shining Armor, I found, had the impressive talent of making a sturdy dome around himself. More than that, it was capable of withstanding more than the one or two. Shining Armor, I found, had the impressive talent of making a sturdy dome around himself. More than that, it was capable of withstanding more than the one or two blows that average shield spells could manage. And our sergeant swiftly determined this was a damned impressive skill, but it was not likely to end a fight. Another pony had the ability to sharpen things on contact with his horn. Another of the skills to create fireworks with her magic. Is this a reference to Fizzle Pop Berry Twist? V? Is this a reference to Fizzle Pop Berry Twist? Please tell me this is a reference to Fizzle Pop Berry Twist. Around himself. Shining Armor, I found, had the impressive talent of making a sturdy dome around himself. More than that, it was capable of withstanding more than the one or two blows that the average shield spells. Oh my gosh. Shining Armor, I found, had the impressive talent of making a sturdy dome around himself. More than that, it was capable of withstanding more than the one or two blows that average shield spells could manage, and our sergeant swiftly determined this was a damned impressive skill, but not likely to end a fight. Another pony had the ability to sharpen things on contact with his horn. Another had the skill to create fireworks with her magic, and seemed quite confident this would be very useful, but admitted that she had a tendency to set things on fire with it, and that maybe it shouldn't be used too close to ponies, or the ground, or fields where embers could land. Wait, let's see. Was Fizzle Pop around when you... Let's see, when did you write this chapter? Where's my cursor? There it is. Let's go with Changeling of the Guard. Where is that book in my favorites folder? Yes. Thank goodness you just updated, because this would have been a nightmare to look through. Fall In was 2015. No, Fizzle Pop was Way. Oh man. 2015. Yeah, no. Too bad though, because that would have been a really sneaky reference to Fizzle Pop there. You foresaw Tempest Shadow. It's like this other creator on DeviantArt that I saw who basically created T-Rex before the show, like a year and a half in advance before the show uh, had T-Rex as a villain. And it wasn't necessarily T-Rex, but it was this creature that developed that ate all the magic in Equestria. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so good. He even wrote a comment saying, "This was written before the show before the show revealed T-Rex as a villain." So it was damn stream delay. How bad is my stream delay? I haven't seen Ruby. Everyone says it's so good, but I don't have the time to watch Ruby or other shows, to be honest, because I actually haven't seen MLP since like season 6 because of work, to be honest. Man, that is kind of bad. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I had no idea my stream delay was that bad. Yeah, like I really haven't seen the show since like season 6. Except for a few except for a few here and there, and the heartwarming special because that was fantastic. It was determined her ability would serve better as a last. It was determined her ability would serve. It was determined her ability would better serve as a last resort. The first test was. The first test we received was a. The first test we received was of our telekinesis. I need more water, but I don't want to leave the stream because I'm afraid it will blow up while I'm out to get more agua. It was determined her ability would better. The first test we received was of our telekinesis. Several could. The first test we received was of our telekinesis. Several could lift things far greater weight than themselves, though several were forced to admit that even their telekinesis only allowed for simple things that they could easily just as easily manipulate by hoof. Shining was above average, able to lift me easily, but I found my own ability was disliked. Hail hydrate and all that, but but I don't want to leave the stream because it's almost over. Unfortunately, because I know everyone, I know V especially, since he lives so far away, so far away, is just like it's almost 11 for him, so he has to go soon, which I'm sad about. But oh well. It's always from 7 to 9. The first test we received was of our telekinesis. Several could lift things far greater weight than themselves, though several were forced to admit that even their telekinesis only allowed for simple things they could just easily manipulate by hoof. Oh my gosh. The first test we received was of our telekinesis. Several could lift things far greater weight than themselves, though several were forced to admit that even their telekinesis only allowed for simple things they could just as easily manipulate by hoof. Shining was above average, able to lift me easily, but I found my own ability was disliked. The buck are you doing? The buck you doing, lazy? Who taught you to pick things up like that? The sergeant snorted, annoyed. You aren't wrapping it! You have to wrap it, Colt! He motioned with his hooves as he shouted, like he was cupping something in them and pulling it up to his breast. It is how I've always done it, I shrugged, unsure if I could have managed the full lift that most ponies did. Try lifting shields! I went to correct him on his misuse of another's name, but saw Shining shake his head. Nonetheless, I did, and could not quite get a grip. Nonetheless, I did, and could not quite get a grip on the Nonetheless, I did, and could not quite get a grip on his shield, though I saw him shiver. Problem, shields? No, sir. Just feels a little eerie, sir, like having claws running over me. That's because your friend here doesn't use a full wrap. He talons it. Probably a slow learner. Happens from time to time with unicorns who don't have the strength to spare for a good grip. They learn other ways to do it. And stop feeling your damn shields! You do that to test them, not all the time. You block that out, shields, or one good blast of fire will get you to drop it. I'll fix those typos I did in post because I paused slightly. I frowned, experimentally lifting a rock. I suppose he had a point. My magic was more like a talon than a cloud of supportive energy. Is that a problem? Is this a problem? Problem? No. Makes search and rescue operations a bit tricky, but most of the time you will have Pegasi for that anyway. Means we won't need to teach you how to do it later, so that's good. You work on doing it right and we'll come back to it. Teaching us later was, I found, a reference to one of the two final options for unicorns. Being that most of us were less sturdy than Pegasi or Earth ponies, we had the options of either a magically enhanced physical good. There we go. Earth pony. Teaching us later, I found, was a reference to one of the two final options for unicorns. Being that most of us were less sturdy than Pegasi or Earth ponies, we had the options of either a magically enhanced physical range style or a purely magical combat style. Javelins were preferred ranged weapons for Pegasi. Unicorns, on the other hoof, were traditionally the royal archers. As it turned out, so long as a pony could lift about 40 pounds with their magic, they can be taught how to use a bow. I was able to wield the weapon easily, but found that my ability to target was... Well, it was suggested that if they wished to use me as a weapon, they would be best suited at having me aim at the thick of our own lines. I'd be more apt to hit the enemy. I completely messed up that whole thing, so I'm going to start from the top. Teaching us later was, I found, a reference to one of the two final options for unicorns. Being that most of us were less sturdy than Pegasi or Earth ponies, we had the option of either a magically enhanced physical range style or a purely magical combat style. Javelins were a preferred ranged weapon for Pegasi. Unicorns, on the other hoof, were traditionally the royal archers. As it turned out, so long as a pony could lift about 40 pounds with their magic, they can be taught how to use a bow. Javelins were preferred ranged weapons for Pegasi. Unicorns, on the other hoof, were traditionally the royal archers. As it turned out, so long as a pony could lift about 40 pounds with their magic, they can be taught how to use a bow. I was able to wield the weapon easily, but found that my ability to target was... Well, it was suggested that if they wished to use me as a weapon, they would be best suited by having me aim at the thick of our own lines. I would be more apt to hit the enemy. The non-equipment assisted version relied on the capability of a unicorn to throw magic about. As stun spells tend to be effective, most ponies simply assume that they will be in the mainstay of unicorn guards. The truth is, though, combat spells are more... bleh. They're more bleh. I have so much more to go. Man, you guys have been fantastic at distracting me for so long. But I think right about now, it's we've been going for a good long while, but I think we'll pick this up next week. And I congratulate you on distracting me for so long. That's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. So, I will continue this next week. I'll put that straw poll in the chat later as soon as I get it made, and we'll start next week with chapter 21. I'll finish this up, hopefully edit last week's chapter and this week's chapter, and so we got a little bit of chapters going on. But either way, it was fun. It was fun time seeing everyone, and have a good